So guys, we've had a data download for global. Yesterday we had the global details and animations for the part 2 units of Dokkan Fest LR Beast Gohan and the Carnival LR Gammas. As you can see, we already knew this. Beast Gohan and the Gammas are both coming tomorrow. I hope your stones are ready. But then we also know that the year 6 EZAs are going to be coming in pretty much just under 6 days time. 5 days, 14 hours and 33 minutes. So they will be out next week, pretty much on the 31st of July for me anyway. Bang at the end of the month. That's when they're dropping. But the important news, which a lot of people have been talking about on Twitter or X, is that the banner format for the part 2 banners are not the same as part 1. Now, part 2 had the 7-step step-ups where you could do the first step for 30 stones, the second step for 40, the third for 50, the fourth was free. Then you still continued on with discounts, with step 5 being 40 stones, step 6 being 45 stones, and the 7th step being 50 stones. And then on the final one, you would have one featured unit guaranteed no matter what. And that was for both the Broly banner and also the Carnival LR Gogeta banner. Beast Gohan and the Carnival LR Gammas will not have this. They're going to have the standard discounts and step-ups we've always had. As it says here, 400 hours only. Perform 3 more multi-summons to get 1 free. We are back to the typical format. Buy 3, get 1 free. No 7 steps, no guaranteed featured unit. Back to the usual major celebration step-ups or discounts we're used to. Also, with the tickets as well. Use the exclusive summon tickets to recruit characters as well. And the same can be said for the Gammas, as we can see here. Perform 3 more multis to get 1 free. And also having summon tickets for the Gammas banner as well. Now, I've seen some complaints about this, and don't get me wrong, I get it. But to me, we've just basically reverted back to what we've always had. So I'm not really overly bothered, but that's my point of view. I can understand why people would be quite annoyed about this, because they feel like they've been kind of suckered in with part 1 to get you to summon, which is probably why they did the step-ups and discounts they did, was to get you to spend your stones before Beast Gohan dropped, and then reverted back to the original format we know and are used to. Because the way I see it is, Dokkan are planning the sync. Dokkan aren't stupid. They know that a lot of global players, not all, but a lot of global players know the timeline, know how JP functions. And the whole plan was probably to get people to spend their stones, probably to entice them with those step-ups, to spend more stones in part 1, knowing Beast Gohan was going to be the headliner in part 2, knowing he was going to be the big unit everyone wanted to summon for. And to make sure, this is what happens with gacha games, to make sure that people would potentially want to spend money, they dropped the discounts that they had in part 1, so you would spend your stones, and then potentially buy more in part 2 for when Beast Gohan dropped. Because no matter what, Beast Gohan is the #1 unit from the celebration. No matter what, whether the summon format was going to stay the same, they're reverting back like they are now. They never did the step-ups for the part 1 that they were going to do. If they just kept it the same through part 1 to part 2, people are mainly going to be summoning for Beast Gohan no matter what. And Dokkan probably knew this, which is why they probably did it for part 1. So I can understand why people are a little bit annoyed, a little bit frustrated. But for me, as I said, it's back to the format we know and are used to. So I don't really mind too much, because as I said, they probably knew that everyone was going to be summoning for Beast Gohan for the majority anyway. So they wanted people to summon a bit more in part 1 and potentially actually buy some stones. So it makes sense. So to me, I don't really see a big problem with it, because I was going to summon for Beast Gohan more anyway, regardless of the step-ups in part 1. Regardless of the discounts we got, if they were just on one banner, both banners like they were, whether the format was still the same and not changed for part 1, I was still going to summon for Beast Gohan. But that's just my personal view. You can let me know how you feel down in the comments. Just wanted to bring that news to you, and with the global data download, you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a good rest of your day, and peace.